This is the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve glide. The lateral femoral cutaneous nerve is innervating the skin on the lateral quad, and so when we do this tensioning drill for the nerve, it's likely that you're going to feel it somewhere on the outside of the hip, potentially down into the lateral quad IT band area, and sometimes even up in the trunk, or sometimes people feel it near the SI joint. What you're going to do, if we're targeting, in this case, the left hip, I want to be in a half kneeling position so that my knee is flexed. The first thing that you're going to do is get your hip into extension by just gently contracting your glute and going into a gentle posterior pelvic tilt. You'll likely already feel a little bit of an active stretch right here on the front of the hip. From there, here's where it gets a little bit more technical. I'm going to take my lead leg, I'm going to shimmy it across body, because I have to arrange my body here so that I can take my hip and adduct the femur bone. So you can see that now I have knee flexion, hip extension, a posterior pelvic tilt, and my femur bone has adducted, which means that I took my pelvis out this way and my knee in that way. Now the hard part is maintaining all of those little components of the position. I'm going to then lengthen up tall and start my slumping process. Now I already have neural tension in the slumping process. That this is different for everybody. You have to explore it a little bit. I can rotate towards my lead leg. I can rotate away from my lead leg. This, for me personally, rotating away from my lead leg gave me a little bit more neural tension. So I'm going to hold this position. Remember, our neural tension should not go past or 3 or 4 out of intensity. Okay? Once I'm there, I'm drawing little hip circles, trying to target the outside of the hip and outside of the down leg. I can also do pelvic circles, which is much more advanced and hard. I could also floss from the spinal cord. Okay, so one more time, targeting the left. Knee flexion, hip extension, posterior pelvic tilt. Lead leg comes cross body. Maintain all those components. Adduct the femur. Go into the slumping process. Neural tension is a 3 or 4 out of 10 in intensity. And I'm driving from the hip.